To show you how to basically read an ESR. So this is a very old, outdated ESR that I have here, and we're just going to go through it with our handy dandy cheat sheet, which will help you understand what all this means. So if you start from the left here, you'll see these markings. The X's basically mean that they're NMC for a reason, like a fault, something is actually wrong with the system, broken wise. The stop sign you see here is for an administrative deadline. This means that there's a service that needs to be completed on this and it hasn't been done yet, meaning that it's administratively deadlined. The way that I heard someone describe it is it may not be NMC, but you don't know if it isn't actually broken because the service hasn't been completed. So for this vehicle, the annuals have not been completed. So we are not sure if it is actually deadline. But we also see here it is NMCS for this fault code right here. So you see PPU leak class 3 fuel filter. So this is something that your clerk will put in as to what is the reason, what is the fault. In this one, for example, it's VSC lamp driver fault. And this one, FLIR monitor, no picture. So these are how you can tell this vehicle has this problem, this vehicle has that problem, and this is the status of it overall. When you see NMCS, it's because of supply chain. This means we have found the fault, we know what's wrong, we have ordered the part, and now we're just waiting on the part. If you see NMCM here, this means either that the fault hasn't been identified yet and the mechanics are still working through it, or the fault has been identified, the part has been ordered, the part is now in, and the mechanics just need to put the part on the vehicle. Just bottom line, you don't want things to stay NMCM for very long. You want to get them NMCS because when they're NMCM, it looks like there's a reason that you could fix that would get the vehicle working again. But when it says NMCS, this says, hey, you know what? There's not your fault. It's all in the supply chain. Going back to the parts, once you put a part on order, there's a lot of breakdowns to what all these mean, but the bottom line you just need to know is right here, this talks about your source of supply. So if you look at B64, that is for Redstone Arsenal in the United States. And if you know anything about these sources of supply, you'll be able to actually go in and maybe find contacts who will be able to tell you if you can expedite your parts or what's the issue currently facing you with getting your parts. But just knowing that you have a sources of supply already identified is great to be able to tell any higher ups, here's where my part is currently. And these codes are also incredibly important. The BA, BD codes, and this will bring me to my cheat sheet. So if you see here, we have a fuel engine tank. It's at a BA status. Hop over here to my cheat sheet. BA means item process for release. So you see here, the item has been processed for release. It just hasn't arrived to us yet. Now you look at BD, what does that mean? Because I have some other BAs. These other have already been item processed for release, but what does BD mean? So hop over to this cheat sheet, and I'll put the link for this cheat sheet in this video. This means delayed due to verify requirement authorization. This basically just means that they need to look to see if you are actually authorized or do you actually require this part. So this is a real quick and dirty explanation of how to read your ESR. I mean, there's things that we can go into, like for example, ERC-P items. These mean that this is a pacing item versus the A items are non-pacing items. Bottom line, you just need to know the P items are always going to be the most important. The quantities here are about how many quantities that you have ordered, and then they go into things like how many you have on hand and how many have been issued to you. So all these are just very helpful. Just being able to know and look at an ESR and say, hey, this vehicle has this problem. Here's what we've ordered for it. Here's where the source of supply, and here's what the status is of the part, will make you shine as an XO because you'll be able to tell any higher ups anything wrong with your equipment and be able to just go forth and do great things in the maintenance world. So I really hope this helps. If it does, like